Hi everybody, this is Seton I'm with TriSports.com. I'm going to talk to you today about the Quintana Roo PRsix. QR invented the tri-bike many years ago, and this is their latest rendition. It's the first bike they've come out with an integrated fork and stem combination, which puts it into the superbike category. This is important because once you get into the superbike category, one thing is very clear that happens with most brands, and it gets very difficult to work on your bikes. The biggest thing that QR has done for all of us triathletes that love to ride our bikes and like to travel with our bikes is they've made our lives very simple and easy with the setup. It works like any other stem. There's 4 bolts up here where the stem comes apart so you can remove your aero bars for travel. And that's really important because when we go to races, we really want to be able to put the bike together ourselves, get out and ride and get ready for our race. That's a huge thing that they've done. With this entire cockpit setup here, they've added a total of 3 bolts. 3 new bolts, and of those 3 bolts, 0 are used once you have the bike set up. Once they're set up, you pretty much set them and forget them. The rest, it's pretty much works like a standard stem. You have 2 fixing bolts here, compression bolt up top, and then your 4 bolts that mount your, which normally a face plate with the top plate now with this bike. One thing you'll notice with this bike is this is as far as it turns, okay? Which for me, initially when I took this bike out, I was concerned because I was afraid I was not going to be able to turn sharp enough. So what are the tightest turns we have to worry about? And the tightest turn we worry about is doing a U-turn and out and back. And so we did some testing, did a U-turn out and back, and it worked fine. No problems. We had plenty of turning radius left in the bike. It's a non-issue. The one issue though that I have with the bike is the fork. When you turn it, it hits the frame right here. And there is a screw that limits the amount of turn you have that will stop this. However, I don't have that set right now. In the final production version of this bike, there's going to be bumpers here that will stop that. So once again, that should be a non-issue. This bike comes with the area cockpit from Profile Design. I absolutely love this thing. It's easy to adjust, full range of adjustability, up, down, fore, aft. It's a really comfortable bar. It feels really good in the hand when you're out of the aero bars and you're in the drops. Great bar, love it. I'm not a big fan of the cable sticking out of the back here, but this can be alleviated with a zip tie and tying these up a little bit better. This brings us to the junction box here. It fortunately has DI2. Unfortunately, you have to have this junction box in a place that's accessible. They thought about this when they made the bike, and they made the stem with a little groove in here to hold the junction box, but it looks a little hokey pokey sitting right here, but once again, it is what it is, and you have to have that junction box accessible because you use the junction box to charge your battery. Outside of that, it's really clean. I mean, all the cables are hidden. They come right into the top tube. It's clean as it gets. And what this enables you to do is to clean it up even more. You can get a XLab makes a couple great products. XLab Stealth Pocket 400. This Stealth Pocket will strap right here. You know, hold your gels and stuff, and it's definitely an accessory you're going to want to get. In addition to that, there's also the Stealth Pocket 500, same thing, but it bolts to your top tube. This bike does not have the bolts on the top tube. Now the production bikes are supposed to have the bolts up there, so this will bolt straight away onto your top tube. The bike will be faster with this on your top tube. I love the design of the seat post. They've been using a similar design for a couple years on their CDO1 and Elicido. This is a little bit different, but they're using the same mounting hardware here. This is extremely stable. It doesn't slip. It stays in place. It's quiet. It's a great design. It's 2 bolts right here that hold your saddle in place, and then you have 2 bolts on either side that adjust the forward and backward and the tilt of the saddle. Great design. Now, to move your seat up and down, a single bolt assembly. The battery is in the seat post. It's connected with one of these wires right here, these E-tube wires, connects right into the seat post. Clean design, no battery on the outside. One of the great things about this seat post that they did change is they added 2 holes right here. And these 2 holes are used with be used with X-Lab Delta 300. It will bolt right on the back here, or the X-Lab Sonic Wing. Either one of these pieces of hardware will mount back here. The Delta is a single bottle mount, and the Sonic Wing is a dual bottle. And I'm sure X-Lab will be coming out with some other products as well, but great system and integrates right here onto the post, so it doesn't have to attach to your saddle. Throughout the bike, they're using full Shimano components, so it's all Ultegra 11-speed Di2, front and rear derailleur, chain and cassette. It works great. Once again, it's really clean and gets the job done. Quintana Roo is spec'd out their bike with this VisionTech Tri-Max carbon crankset. I was really concerned when I rode the bike that it wouldn't have great compatibility with the Shimano front derailleur. Shimano prefers, obviously, that you're using all their stuff together, and this is the one part that's on the bike that is off spec. I rode the bike, it shifts great. Is it as great as Shimano? No, but the reality is it doesn't matter. You're just not shifting between your little and big chainring all that much, and with electronic shifting, it makes up for it. So, no complaints there. It's really stiff, it's aero, and it gets the job done. It's also running BB30, so it's a little bit wider and stiffer in the bottom bracket by using this crankset. One of the greatest improvements, and I have to thank Shimano for this, and I also have to thank QR for speccing Shimano's parts for this, is the brake setup. These are direct mount brakes that are on this bicycle, and you may be saying to yourself, hey, Seton, I don't care about braking. I'm on a tri-bike. I don't care. And I agree with you. I don't really care about braking either, but having great brakes goes a long way. And I love having great brakes, especially being on their Illicito for a couple years. They had the TRP brakes and they didn't work all that well. So these Shimano brakes are awesome. The bike stops. Your hands don't get as tired braking when you're riding around town, having to stop at stoplights during training and stuff. So that's great. On the rear brake is hidden underneath the bike. And once again, it's also a Shimano brake, but the one thing I want to point out is you need to adjust that brake pad when you install it, and you need to adjust the spacer on it to properly take into account the flex that you get from these deep aero wheels. It doesn't matter if it's Reynolds or Zip or Envy or pick your favorite deep dish wheel. They're all going to have some flex in them, and when you're dealing with really tight tolerances on the brakes like these bikes have, you need to compensate for it. The great thing with the Shimano brake, it's really easy to adjust. It takes a 2mm Allen wrench to adjust the brake out, and that opens it up. And then on the drive side, you're going to want to move the spacers to open up the brake just a little bit more to accommodate for that. Once I dialed that brake in, the bike was golden. The bike we have here is the Reynolds 72 wheel set. The goal as a triathlete is to run the deepest wheel set you can while being comfortable and be able to control the bike. So I had no problems when I rode this bike, and it was pretty windy. The bike handled really well, and I had no issues riding these wheels. Of note with me specifically on these wheels, you have to make sure that your pump fits how much stem you have coming out of here, which is true with any wheel, but this wheel in particular, the way it comes spec, there's not a lot of valves sticking out, and I had some issues pumping up my tires of all things, but I got around it I used a Presta valve adapter was the secret sauce to that solution. A $2 part made my life a lot easier. One thing you'll notice with this bike is that the non-drive side of the bike, the non-drive side stay is substantially larger than the drive side. This comes off the Illicito, and they do this to incorporate the shift technology. When air is coming off the bike, it shifts the air coming off onto the non-drive side, and they've proven this again and again in the wind tunnel. It works really well from an aerodynamic standpoint, and I can tell you from riding the Illicito for so many years that it does work. The bike is fast. So if they can shift that wind for me, all the better. And unlike the Illicito, they do have a seat stay here, which kind of stiffens up the rear end. One of the downsides of the Illicito was if you got out of the bike, it flexed quite a bit in the back. This stiffens it up, and if you account for the brake adjustment, you'll be fine with this bike as well. Another great feature of this bike It comes standard with horizontal or vertical dropouts. I can tell you from a training standpoint, a vertical dropout is the best thing ever because it's way easier to take your wheel off. From a racing standpoint, you know, if you want to get the most for your bike and you really want to tuck the wheel to the back, seat stay here, you're going to want a horizontal dropout. And so you could switch dropouts if you wanted to. Worst case scenario is you have a spare set of dropouts should something happen to your dropouts, and you'll have a backup pair, which is a great thing to have. Another thing I want to point out on this bike, which is so simple, yet most super bike makers don't do it, is there's 2 water bottle cage mounts on the frame. My biggest pet peeve on the planet with super bikes is these manufacturers get in the wind tunnel and they decide that us as athletes are not worthy of having 2 water bottle cages on our bikes because it's going to mess up aerodynamics. And yet we get dehydrated on courses because we only get 1 water bottle cage. So I really want to thank QR for putting 2. The reality is if I don't want 2, I can take 1 off. If I want the aerodynamics over the hydration, I'll take it off. So I really want to thank Quintana Roo for putting 2 water bottle cages on their bike. Alright, so the question is, Seton, will you recommend this bike? I absolutely recommend this bike to anybody that wants a fast super bike that's easy to maintain and easy to travel with. If those are your goals, this is the bike for you. I'm really happy with this bike and I can't wait to get on one myself. Thank you.